Hey everyone, this is Sean Ray with Sean Ray Realty, and today we got Mr. Ray Oliveira here talking about his first ever Airbnb home that he just bought. And then we're going to go through step by step a very basic rundown of what to do whenever you get your first Airbnb or before you even get your Airbnb closed, and then exactly step by step on how to get it up and listed. This is not going to be a super advanced tutorial. We're going to do this as part 1 of 2, and then once he actually gets the furniture and everything in there and gets it all set up, then we'll do another one, a follow-up to this one. That way he gets all the parameters all checked out so it can be a business one and all sorts of stuff. But he's going to ask me a whole bunch of questions throughout this process, and I bet they're going to be the same questions you would ask if you were sitting here with me as well. So without further ado, hello, Mr. Ray.
Hello.
All right, you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we're going to jump back and forth between looking at us talking whenever he has a question, and also we're going to be doing a screen recording as well. That way you get to see what we're doing in real time. So what we're doing right now is we just opened up his Airbnb profile, and his Airbnb profile is a personal one that he's been using to travel for how many years? I don't know, so many years now. And so his question to me before we got started was, should he create a new listing or a new profile just specifically for this listing? And I want to quickly answer that before we get started, is that for your first one, just do it off of your personal. I mean, you have your personal profile and your Airbnb profile. And I think that what is good for this is that when you're first getting started, it makes it a lot easier to manage. So you can flip between traveling and hosting, and you just easily flip back and forth whenever it comes time to you to manage this stuff. Also, another thing is that your goal is to get a superhost status. And then whenever you do really well, your response rate's high and you do a great job with being a host, you have high enough scores, I think it's 4.7 or something like that, 4.6, consistently over, I think about a 3-month time period or 4-month time period, then you get re-upped for superhost status over and over again throughout the year. When you do get a superhost status, you get a bonus, which is like a free photo shoot through Airbnb, which I wouldn't recommend doing that because it takes forever to schedule it and for someone to come out. Just get your own photographer to go do it, or use an iPhone 10 or 11 because their cameras are awesome. And the other option normally is to get like a credit. The other option is to get like a credit through Airbnb, and you get like $100 gift card to use for, or $100 bonus to use for any other Airbnb listings that you can find as you're traveling. So that's what I would do. I would start off with your current listing that we have here, and then start a new listing. So we go to add listing, and we're going to create new listing. As you see here, what you're going to find is that they're going to ask you what kind of place you have. And so since you are going to not be living at your place, then it's going to be an entire place. The times that you're going to want to do a private room or shared room is when you're currently living at your spot and you want to rent out the other rooms. Another reason why you'd want to do a private room or shared room is if you want to rent out your entire place, which the goal would be, and then you want to create another listing per room if it gets out like a month or a couple weeks before, then you have vacancies, and then you can rent out, you can split it up, block off the entire house, and then just start opening it up for the other rooms individually, so individual people can come in and just like rent one room, and then another person rents the other room. You can do that in your area for your listing. You'd probably do it for about $40 to $70 a night, depending on how many beds or whatever's in there. And it's beneficial for you, but it's also extremely difficult to manage. And so you have to create different lists like per room, and you have to manage what messages are going to what, and then it becomes a mess. But if you're wanting to really optimize your return on profit, then that's the way you do it. I think that you can make just enough money just doing the entire place by yourself, and so I'm not going to stress you out with that. In the entire place, you have a big 4-bedroom house, is that correct?
Yep. And
so we're going to do it for 16 guests. And the way that we've come up with 16 guests is that per bed that is over a full, then it's considered 2 people. Okay. And so if you have a queen or a king or whatever it is, it's 2 people. And I believe it's the same for a full as well. And so if you have 4 rooms and you put 2 beds in each room, then that's 4 people per room, and then 4 times 4 is 16. Okay. And so, we can even put an extra bunk bed or whatever it is in one room. Plus, we have one person for a fold-out couch. Which we're going to do. We're going to do a sofa bed for you, maybe 2 sofa beds, and then one person counts the couch, and then you could have air mattresses. So by the time that we're done with your listing, we're going to have like 25, 26 people, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Cool.
So it's in Dallas, Texas. We will continue. It says a listing for a month that you can get for 16 people for renting out the entire place in Dallas is $3,237. That is a bold-faced lie. That is ridiculous. We can do way better than that.
Now, when it comes down to private rooms and shared rooms, now is that do people like literally share a room in a house?
Yeah, so it's like a dorm style, and so that's kind of weird. But I mean, it happens if you just do. I know people that have a big old room like you have. You have that big room upstairs, and you can put probably like 6 or 7 bunk beds in there, and then people can come in and hostel it up.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that would be like $10 a night, maybe $15 a night per person. And if you stack it up and you have 30 people in that room, then that could be profitable. Yep. But man, can you imagine managing that many people with that many messages and that many bookings and figure out who's coming in, who's coming out, and damages and who assessed what damage, and then it would be a mess. And so that's something that I think that if you need to do it, go for it. But we're going to be doing just fine profitability if you follow the rules I'm about to go through. Okay, so first let's narrow down a couple things. Select one. This is going to be a home. Now choose a property type. This is going to be a house. This could be a townhouse. Would it be a townhouse? Yeah, it's a townhouse. But it's also a standalone, so this is a difficult one. Let's just do house for now, because townhouse typically represents that the house is going to be connected to another house, where there's going to be very little room in between, and you have massive room on one side, and then, I think a dilapidated house on the other, so let's just keep it a house. Okay, so this is something I want to mention, is that this house is set up dedicated for guest space. Yes, it's primary for guests. And now, if you do have your personal belongings there, then that would only make sense if you have a locked closet or like a safe or a garage area that you can put everything in it. Mm-hmm. But in this case, don't put any of your personal belongings there. And everything that's at the property, just assume it's going to be taken or used or broken.
Okay.
Everything in there is potentially gone. And so even this is a good point to mention. You can't get upset if you have a bunch of people come in and use all your resources. And so I've had people before come in and I have a bunch of tissues and they've used all the tissues. And these are reserves for 3 months. They've used all the cleaning supplies. I had one person use over 200 bags of trash. And by use, I mean, I think they just took it. And then I have another person that came in and I had an entire seat, the cabinets, above the cabinets, I had all paper towels. And all the paper towels are gone. Wow. And so, I mean, they went through probably 20 things of paper towels. And so, did they use it? Possibly, but they most likely just took it. And when you leave a lot of stuff out for people to take, just assume it's going to be taken, broken, or whatever used. Okay, so when it comes to, are you listing Airbnb as a part of a company? If you have a company that you have an LLC that's specifically used for Airbnb, like a hospitality company, then you can use this to write off a lot of your expenses. Okay. As of right now, you do not have an LLC that is used primarily for real estate investing. I recommend getting one soon, but as of right now, we're going to say, no, this does not sound like me. Okay, how many guests can your place accommodate? So we're going to do 16 plus. And why we're going to do 16 plus is that when people are searching, the highest they can go is do 16. And so even if your place can do 25, you're going to want to put that in the title. 25 plus, 30 plus people have a bed to sleep in, whatever it is, in your title. Make sure to have that in your description. And we're going to do a strategy for party houses or event houses that after 16 people, like your cost covers 16 people. After 16 people, then it's going to be $25 per person, or $50, or $100, whatever it is you want to do. And you're going to put that all over your listing, and you're going to reference it every time someone books it. You're going to do an invitation to book. And you're going to reiterate that before they book, and then that way, when someone tries to book your house out and like, hey, we saw that you can hold 30 people, we're going to come. Or let's say, for instance, we have a party of 20, we're going to come to your place. And then immediately when they say a party of 20, then you say, great, it's going to be an extra $100. And say, well, what is this? Well, there's 16 of you, there's 4 extra people, it's $25 per person. extra after 16, so 20 people, therefore I get an extra $100. So if it's $700 for that night, now you send a request for $800 and they have to cover that $800. And if it's 30 people, then it increases. So your goal is to get as many people in there as possible. But also you want to make sure you have an accurate head count to who's coming, because there are sometimes I have people say, hey, this looks like a great place for me to host an event. Can I throw an event there? Great, good, accept, confirmed, good to go. And then you find out later that they're planning on having 100 to 150 people come out, which has happened to me. And you're like, whoa, you didn't say anything about this. So this is your fault at that point. You have to say specifically, all right, you request to book, how many people are coming? 100, 150 people. All right, just so you know, for that amount of people, there's going to be an event fee, which is going to be an extra $500. Plus, there's going to be $25 per guest that comes to the property. Oh, wait, no, there's only going to be 20 of us that sleep at the property. Cool, 20 people are going to sleep at the property, but still you're going to have 150 people there. So it's $25 per person. Plus, there's an event fee that we charge for people for over 100 people that show up. And so then you send that request to them, and they're like, wow, this is going to be $4,000 for a night. And you say, yeah, it is. And you just gotta, well, can you give me a discount? Can you give me half off? Like, no, I can't. Because you know you're already going to book it no matter what. And do you really want the risk of having 100 to 150 people at your house? If you have that many people at your house, you're going to make the money, and you better stay strong about this is worth the risk because I'm making this much money. But with 150 people coming in my house, there will be damages, there will be cops called, your neighbors will hate you, and it's just going to be a rough situation.
So do not budge on the discounts?
Don't budge on the discounts.
Okay.
You will book your place. I mean, having this many potential people that can come to your place, that's a rare thing. And so you will book it. It's just a matter of how much you're going to book it for. And I would rather take a $4,000 loss and just make a guaranteed $2,000 or $1,500 for one night versus $4,000, but only have 25 people there versus 150 people there. And then you do that consistently, and you might be excited about having $4,000 or $5,000 with 150 people every weekend. But then there will be issues with the home, there will be issues with the plumbing, and then you'll definitely have issues with the cops and your neighbors.
Okay.
But it's worth it if you're making $4,500 or $5,000 in one night. So let's get back to this. So your guest is going to be 16 plus. How many bedrooms can your guest use? We're going to have 4 bedrooms. And how many beds can your guest use? And now this is up to you. We're going to have 4 bedrooms. How many beds do you want to put in each room? Have you thought about that yet?
Yes, I already have them.
You already have the beds? You have all the beds?
All the beds.
Oh, wow. Cool. How many total?
So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 beds so far, not including the couch, the pull-out bed.
8 beds so far?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to list the pull-out as a bed.
Okay.
Okay, so there's 9.
What about air mattress?
Air mattresses we're gonna leave a little separate.
Okay.
We can always put that in later, but 9 beds is more than enough for right now.
Okay.
And so we're gonna do each bedroom, and you can get really detailed with this later, but let's just, for the sake of this video, let's just run through this, okay? So add beds. The first bedroom has
3 queens.
3 queens. 1, 2, 3. Damn, 3 queens. That's absurd. Okay. And then you can add another bed if you like. And is there enough room for a air mattress in there?
Yes.
Okay, let's throw an air mattress. Or a floor mattress. Let's do air mattress. Okay, done. Another client of mine, she has 4 beds in the entire house, and she's averaging $3,500 a month on just 3 beds. And this is in the same kind of demographic, same area yours, probably like 2 miles away from you. So you have in 1 bedroom the amount that she has in an entire house. So that potentially can get you $3,500 in that 1 bedroom.
Nice.
So just to put it in perspective. All right, so in the second bedroom, how many beds do you have?
2 doubles.
2 doubles.
Doubles.
Okay, 2 people in 1 bed. Sounds great. And then air mattress.
No, on that one.
Not on this one?
No.
Nope. Okay, take that out. And then we're done. And then third bedroom.
1 queen.
1 queen. Can we fit an air mattress in there?
No.
No. Ooh, it's tight fit. And then fourth bedroom?
2 doubles.
2 doubles. Air mattress?
Nope.
Nope. And then common spaces. We have how many sofa beds?
1.
Is that going to be the final amount?
Yep.
Yep. You should have done 2. And then how many air mattresses can we fit in the common area?
One.
One? For real?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As of right now.
As of right now. Okay, because I mean, you can throw air mattresses like on the staircase. I'm just kidding. But you can, I've had people put air mattresses in the strangest places. Like in the kitchen, you know. So as of right now, that should be a good amount of people though. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm sorry. Okay. So okay. So that still is a good amount of beds. Right now we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 beds total. And so that is a good amount of space as of right now. How many bathrooms does it have?
3.
3 bathrooms. And do you know the difference between a 0.5 and a full?
Yeah, I'm assuming the 0.5 is going to be one that doesn't have a shower in it.
Yep. Cool. Good job, man. Okay, what is your address? Is it located in the United States, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to head and move this pin around a little bit. That way we have the ability to show people where it is, but we're also not going to give it too away. That way people can't just randomly stumble upon your place. So we're going to keep it right about here. That way they know where it's at, but they can't drive by it and do anything until they have the actual address, because you don't want people for like parties and stuff like that. Then you don't want a whole bunch of random people that don't have your address or didn't have the authority to come to your place just show up randomly and be like, oh, this is where the party's at, and the next thing you know you have a rager. Okay, next step. What amenities do you offer as of right now? And we're going to always go back and then enter more in later, but as of right now, what do you have? Click off whatever you have.
If we're going to add, I am going to buy hair dryers and stuff. Do you want me to just put that right now? Might as well.
Yeah. But make sure you have all the stuff.
Do you have a fire extinguisher?
Yeah, you gotta have one.
Do you want one of those?
Yeah, you should have that stuff. Do you not have a workspace? You should get a workspace. Private entrance. You have a private entrance.
We do?
Yeah. Breakfast, coffee, and tea. You need that too.
I don't know if I'm going to have space for that.
You won't have a desk anywhere? You have no place for a desk / place that you put a TV on?
I'm putting TV somewhere, but I don't know about desk.
Click it yes for now,
Yeah.
and then make it work.
Okay.
You're going to want to make it work because you want to have as much stuff checked out as possible. Elevator, nice.
Do you consider tubs as no? It's not.
No, it's a hot tub. I mean, the tub can get hot, you know.
Call it hot tub and put a sign, hot tub.
Yeah. Elevator, and you just have a rope. Yeah. And you just climb the rope up to the top floor. All right, start with the basics. Bedrooms and amenities more. Continue. Why is this? I'm clicking. Click. There you go. Okay. Now we're all good. Set the scene. Short description and title photos and blankety blank. So last thing you want to do before you get started is make sure to check the Airbnb guest requirements. Airbnb requires a lot of people to have certain things already, but you can be even more specific if you need to have them a government issued ID submitted to Airbnb, which kind of makes it difficult if people are coming in from out of town, or I get a lot of people from other countries that are coming in, so it makes it a little difficult. And also, if they're not recommended highly by other guests or other Airbnb hosts, then that also limits it as well. The way that you get over the negative reviews, you say, hey, before I confirm this booking with you, I did recognize that you've had a lot of bad reviews in the past, or if you see one negative review in the past, then what you can do is charge them extra. You can say, based on your reviews, I cannot allow you to do this, or you can say, I'm gonna have to charge you an extra $100, $200. Very, and I would say probably the most important part of the entire process in this video so far. Everything up to this point has been marketing the property. This is to protect your butt. And so you want to still make sure that you are up for anyone that wants to come to your property. So if they have kids, you want to make sure they have kids, but they're going to say, well, you know, we have a bunch of kids, and through Airbnb, we don't have to charge per person over that 16 people or whatever it is. So we actually have 16 adults, and we have like 20 kids coming. So therefore, all the kids are free. You would check the Airbnb host guarantee status, then the actual what they can charge you for is anything over 2 years old. So anything under 2 years old, then they don't count as an occupant. Anything over 2 years old, they do. And so it's all good if people want to bring their babies. You just can't really charge them for a newborn baby up to 2 years. After that, you totally can. Suitable for pets, you don't want people to have pets, and you want to make sure in your additional rules that you're gonna, which we're about to get to in a second, additional rules, you want to make sure that there's a pet fee. And so if someone comes to property with the animal and you see there's any evidence of an animal, if there's any poop, if there's any pee or anything like that, or on the cameras you see that there's an animal, you want to charge them a pet deposit. And so that can be anything from $200 to $500. That's up to you. Smoking allowed? Definitely not. Do not let smoking allowed. I charge $50 per cigarette butt that's found after they leave. One time, a person left a whole bottle of cigarette butts, and I was like, dang, this could be like $3,000 if I want to do this. But the reason why you don't want to do that, even outside, is because as soon as you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And I used to do it to where you can smoke outside the premises, but then at that point, we started having issues with people coming inside, making all the beds and everything smell. And then they start bringing it inside, and then there was cigarette butts all over the property, and then we had complaints, and then we have to pay the cleaners extra to go out and pick up every single butt. It's a total mess. And so make sure there's no smoking allowed. And you can charge $25, $10, $5, whatever it is per cigarette butt that you find, or evidence of smoking, like an ashtray or whatever it is. Like cigarette packets are also another thing that could be evidence. And so just any kind of evidence that you find, you can say you charge a certain amount for that. I charge $50 per cigarette butt. Events parties allowed, yes, of course, that's where you're gonna make most of your money. But you can do you can make sure they know that the property needs to be exactly the way they found it before they came in, and there's gonna be a $200 charge for any time there's any human bodily waste left on the property, which didn't think that was gonna be an issue, but we did have some body fluid stuff that has been an issue. And also there is things that are personal items that are left at the property, certain personal items that they're going to be charged for. And throw up is a big thing. And a lot of your cleaners are going to charge extra for throw up. But I've had throw up in cardboard boxes. I've had throw up in the shower, in all over the toilets, outside on the property, on the side of the house. We've had to spray it down on the concrete, on the sidewalks. We've had throw up everywhere. And then it always is an issue cleaning that up. And then the cleaners, I don't know why, but the cleaners just don't like doing it. And so if I was a cleaner, I wouldn't like doing that either. Yeah. And so we're going to put that into the additional rules, but I quickly, before we cut to the you typing super fast, I want to briefly mention this. There are people that are older or have issues with their hips or something like that, so you do want to put on there they must climb stairs. And you want to say to get to 3 of the 4 of the bedrooms, then you must climb stairs. For anyone that has handicap needs, there is a room downstairs for them to use and access to a shower and bathroom. So you put that there. Potential for noise, that's going to be if you're doing shared spaces or if there's a house or whatever it is nearby that tends to be a loud party house. In your case, there's kind of a vacant lot to the right of you, and then the house on your left could be a haunted house or a dilapidated house. I don't know what's going on with that house. Pets do not live on property, nor should there be pets on the property. No parking on the property. That's strange. Why would you not want parking on your property? But for certain situations. But in this case, you can park on your property. Some spaces are shared. That is true if you do the individual listings. In this case, we're not doing that. And amenity limitations, you don't have any amenity limitations unless it's something like, after 10 p.m. you can't go outside. But in this case, we'll keep that at a different spot. surveillance recording, everyone that's doing Airbnb should always have a living room and an outside to the backyard and the front yard. It should always be surveillanced, because I can't tell you how many times there was 20 people coming to my property, and then we find out that the cops were called. There was like a rap video that was produced there. There was drug deals that were going on. Sometimes we found like there were 75 people that showed up to the place that there was only supposed to be 3 to 5 people there, and all sorts of stuff. And then I wouldn't have got any of the damages covered. I just got Hey, by the way, I just got $15,000 in damages paid for by Airbnb. I got the final claim today. And so I just got the email today, and they said they are going to follow up and then get all that stuff paid out. And it was only because of the surveillance camera and all the footage that we had surveillance camera that got that all paid out. So I made $15,000 from guests not following the house rules, not from damages. Like only a few $100s of that was from damages. The rest was from just not following house rules.
Nice. Which
is inviting a whole bunch of people over that they shouldn't have invited and all that stuff like that. So yeah, surveillance cameras are your friend for sure. Weapons on property, no, you don't have any guns on your property unless you walk in, you got your 2 biceps, and those are some pretty powerful guns right there. Dangerous animals on property, unless you show up to the property, that's the only dangerous animal that can show up. Okay, so that's it. So we're going to take a quick break, and as you type this up, and then we'll get back to the audio portion of this video. Okay, so this is a really important part of the process. And so we've already gone through all the descriptions and all the house rules, which is very important for you if you have an event house to put all those descriptions in there for your house rules, because you will see every single one of those situations that he put in there happen to you. And if you're prepared, that's not an issue. If you're not prepared, then you'll go through the same headaches that I went through whenever I was setting this stuff up. And if you get your stuff paid for, and you're like, oh, it's not a big deal. If you don't get it paid for, then you're like, oh no. So let's talk about the actual pricing strategy that we're going to work with Mr. Ray. And so the place is empty right now, so we can't have anyone book for the next couple of days, if not a couple of weeks. He could potentially have a guest next week, but that's still yet to be seen. So we don't want to make sure that he gets anything booked while it's empty or while it's not priced right. So now we're going to jump to a really important part of the process, which is going to be called the pricing strategy. And so we already took care of all the calendar situations that you just saw us go through and all the house rules that will happen to you, whether you're prepared or not. And so if you think that's a whole lot of house rules and he's going to scare off a lot of people, let them get scared off, because they will happen to you. And I could tell you a story from a personal standpoint from every single one of those situations that he put in there in the house rules that have really damned my property. But if I knew ahead of time and I had it all set up, then it would have been paid for, would have taken care of itself, and it wouldn't have been an issue. So the place is currently empty as it is. There's a couple beds in there, and that's about it. And so what we're going to do is not book it out for October. We're going to block all the dates for October, and we're going to focus on a long-term strategy, which is we're going to increase the nightly rate to a really high amount that we're not trying to get people to book. Where our goal is not to get people to book the nightly rates. We're going to try to get people to book out for 3 or 4 days, a week, a month, and then that's where he gets a lot of his headaches taken care of, and he gets a lot of the extra cash flow, but he's not getting that nightly rager kind of party that you might get in a house like this. So we're going to increase the base rate, but we're going to increase the weekly rate dramatically. And then once we get that done and we start listing it full time, say next month, then we're going to lower that dramatic rate that we're going to be doing starting right now. And so if you jump over to the screen, we're going to type it in. His weekly discount right now, we're going to do it at 40% off. And so if someone's going to come for the entire week, then we're going to put it at 40%. If they're going to do a monthly discount, then we're going to do it at 70%. And that is just to try to get his calendar filled as much as possible. And so let's do that 40%, and then we're going to do let's do 60, start off with 60. And so that will give you a monthly average of $6,000, which is you're going to be happy with, right? Mm-hmm. And so that covers all your monthly mortgages and everything. And then your 40% is going to give you like $8,000 if you get the weekly bookings. So that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I would even probably do it a little more. If your goal, let's just keep the goal at 6,000, And so let's put it to where 60% is good for monthly. And then you can do 50. Let's see what 50 does for us. So that still puts us over 6,000. And then go ahead and do next. And so let's go over that really quick. So if he were to book out the weekdays after September, or I'm sorry, I said September earlier. If he were to book out the November bookings, then during the week, it's going to be about $200 to $250 a night, and the weekend is going to be around $700 or so a night, and plus the extra people that can come in. And so if you add all that up, you normally are going to get around $6,000. Maybe his first month he might get $4,000 or $5,000 because it's going to be basically booked up all on the weekends. And it's going to be very vacant during the week. We already know that. We anticipate that. But we don't want to lower it down past that $200, $250 per night for the weekday, because then we attract a certain kind of people that come in. If you have 20 people splitting $100, then you're going to have a certain kind of tenant that you just don't want in there that will trash your property. So it's better just to keep it vacant and not take that extra day or two to get it ready for the people that are coming in on the weekend, because you're dealing with some BS that happened on a Thursday or a Wednesday. So let's finalize this. Okay, so once you get your listing all done, it's up and running, you're good to go. You will start getting bookings immediately if you're not careful. And so make sure to jump on this. Don't let it sit. Don't let it wait. Jump on your edits pretty much immediately. And so to get it up and running, they give you all the basic info, but not all of it. And so make sure to go to your listing and edit some certain things. Some is a check-in time. Make sure that you check in at 4 p.m. or later. You can check in until like 2 a.m. because some people come in late. But make sure they don't make you do this whenever you're first doing a listing. Make sure that you go in after and you do check-out time. And if it's a large group like this, like so he could potentially have 20 to 50 people checking out at one time, you want to do 11. If it's a smaller house that can only host 6 to 12 people or whatever, then you can do it earlier, like 9 or 10 a.m. But the extra hour is going to be important, and most people are going to ask for it anyway, so you might as well just lean into it for a large group, because it's hard to get everyone out by 11 and clean and everything after they just had a party the night before. Sometimes you're going to want to ask for 12 or 1, and that's up to you, but you're going to have to charge them $50 per hour they stay after check-in time, which we're going to talk about here as well. So you want to also go to extra charges, and then your cleaning fee will be covered by your guest. And so normally for a house like this, it could cost $200, $300 for a cleaning service. The cleaning service that I use, I'm going to refer to Ray, is going to, for a 4-bedroom house like this, is going to cost them like $150. So we're just going to hand that over to the client. We're not going to try to make any extra money off of that. We're just going to cover all of our base rent, or base charges. So $150 for the cleaning fee. Security deposit, it makes a whole lot of sense to make like a $2,000 security deposit, but in my history, they don't ever get that. Like the security deposit is very difficult to win over when it comes to Airbnb resolutions, and it also might make you not get certain guests check in because they have to show that amount of money in their bank account, and sometimes they're just pooling enough money just to get the actual listing. So the security deposit might end up scaring some people off or not allowing them to qualify for your listing. So just in my case, you might disagree, comment below if you guys disagree, but in my case, I just leave the security deposit 0, and then I fight it out with Airbnb resolutions afterwards because I have all the pictures and all the evidence, and I use all that. And I typically win the Airbnb resolutions because I don't try to take advantage of it. I always make sure it's a very legitimate claim. Extra guests, so you put in there $25 per person, but this is really going to be redundant because this is $25 per person after 16 people, and here it's 1. And so under this, for each guest after, go here, each guest after 16, go all the way to 16 plus. And so if you did each guest after 1, then it automatically adds it to the listing. But then if you do $25 per guest after 16, then Airbnb doesn't do it for you. You have to do the math, and you have to send a special offer when people request a book. But it's just good to check CYA, check your ACE, on that one. So he's going to also put weekend pricing. So during the week, it's going to be $500 during the week, which we don't expect anyone to actually book for $500 during the week. We only have that $500 so we can do that huge 50% or 60% discount, whatever it is, to get it to where you get that long-term booking. So we're going to increase the weekend pricing up to $800. and that's going to be just for right now. For the first 2 weeks, we're going to let it marinate and see how many people we can get in for long term. And then once it's fully active and it's fully furnished, then we're going to drop down those prices, and we're also going to drop down those weekly discounts and monthly discounts as well. But for right now, we're not expecting anyone to book at these actual pricing. It's really important to know, just to know that yes, these are kind of scary high prices, but it's totally part of the process and totally part of the plan. Trying to get those month-long or week-long stays. And okay, another thing is they have this early bird discount. A lot of people want to put like a large 20% or 30% discount on the first few people to book. Don't do that. The reason why is that you're already giving a discount. Your goal is to try to do this long-term bookings that we just previously mentioned. If you try to do those early bird discounts, and that's going to attract a lot of people that want to come in for just 1, 2, 3 days or something like that. And they're going to take away, like say for instance, in the middle of December for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever it is, they'll take away those 2 or 3 days that they get those high demand days, but they also get the big discount, but they're also only there for a short amount of time. And so that's taking away the possibility of you getting someone booking up all the week for Thanksgiving or all week for December and Christmas, that you could have got the whole entire week booked up and more money. And so don't get tempted by this early bird discount stuff. Okay, also in your editing, you want to make sure to just really check everything over and over again. You don't want something that happens to me a lot, which is, oh, I didn't see the $25 per person, or I didn't see the fees, or I didn't do that. I'm like, well, they were listed under the house manual, and they're listed in all the extra charges and fees and everything. They're in multiple sections. I don't know how you could have not seen that. And they're like, sorry, I couldn't see that. And so, for one, check your butt on making sure that you don't call them, you don't text them. Keep all your communication in the text box in the Airbnb app, because then what happens later in the Airbnb resolution, they come back in and they check all the messages and see who's at fault. And also, to do yourself a solid on top of a solid on top of a solid, is that you go into guest requirements and you make sure that they have to confirm to book with you first. They can't just auto book, because you need to make sure that they know that you have all these requirements and you're going to charge them for all this stuff. And so under this, you don't want to do InstaBook, and you want to make sure that they have certain kind of requirements. If you require a profile picture or whatever it is, make sure that you put that on there. But the most important thing is the pre-booking message, and this is the holy grail of the back end of editing your thing. And so on your pre-booking message, you want to put there, hello, welcome to whatever the house is. I hope you enjoy your stay. I want to let you make sure that you know this is where the parking is, and if you want to get some food, this is where the food is, and we normally offer this, and this is the Wi-Fi, everything like that. Just start very friendly. The second part of the message is, before you book, I need to make sure that you clarify by sending a message to me saying, I understand all the following, all the above that you mentioned in the pre-booking message. And then put in there that it is $25 per person. Like, just go through all the stuff, all the fees. $25 per person after 16, and 15 after the day of booking, and then put everything, all the fees of the DJs, the covering the cameras, of all the stuff. So put it all in there. That way, whenever later on they go to Airbnb and they say, I was never told about this or that, or I'm not going to pay this because I wasn't aware of having to pay for extra cleaning fees if there was throw up or anything like that. You can say, that's BS, because I have a message right here that says that you agree to all these things, and sorry, but it's time to pay up. And then when Airbnb sees that message, normally it's like a 99% win. Sometimes they can get around it if they're super shady, but normally, because of this message, the pre-booking message, you can win most of your Airbnb resolution cases, because it's all black and white and it shows that they agreed to it. Very important. Don't forget. So guest requirements is another thing that you need to know about. A lot of people I know, when they get started, they're a little too nice, and they put really flexible for the guest requirements, and you do not need to be flexible. Whenever they have the policies for cancellation, make sure the cancellation policy is strict. And the reason why is because you're running a business, and if they book, a lot of times what people will do for these big party houses or the event houses is they will go out and they'll just get a bunch of different ones to see who will approve them. And then once they get it approved, then they'll try to talk you into lowering the price, or, hey, we have an additional 5, 10, 15 people coming. Is it cool if they come? And then you say no and say, okay, well, whatever. And then they wait until like a day or two before, and they say, hey, just want to double check this. Not cool. We have those people over because they're coming over anyways. And then you're like, no, you can't can't have them. And they're like, okay, well, we'll just go ahead and cancel. And then they cancel like that week before, whatever it is. And then now you're out all this money, and then you have like a few days or a week to rebook it, and then you're screwed. And so then they put your feet over the fire, and they say that, okay, you basically let us have all this stuff for free, and you give us all this compensation, or else you're screwed and you have no way of getting out of it. And so instead you put strict, and that way if someone books it like a month out and then they decide to cancel, I think it's within 30 days or 2 weeks out or whatever it is, then you get a full refund. And so you get all your money back, and you have yourself a couple of weeks to rebook it, which is still very stressful, but at least you got all the money from that person already, and it's silly for them to cancel at that point. So they're getting punished for canceling you a point, and if you do rebook it, then it's cool, that's extra money. But the problem is that you'll have now a week or two to have to rebook a house. It's really difficult to book, because a lot of times with these event houses, they book really far in advance, because you're dealing with trying to do 20 plus people, and trying to get 20 plus people on the same page is really difficult, which takes a lot more time. And so make sure when you're doing an event house, keep it strict. If you're doing like a 1-bedroom or maybe like a 2-bedroom house or whatever it is, then you can keep it pretty flexible, because people book like the night before or the day before or something like that. Not party houses or event houses. Airbnb is going to want to try to really push their Instabook hard, and if you are in charge of your booking, if you don't want to deal with all the stress of it, just turn Instabook on, and it'll take care of all this for you. It'll make it really competitive, and it'll make it to where you make a decent amount of money. But if you really want to optimize the amount of money you make on this platform, you have to be in charge of your pricing strategy. And I would say turn Instabook off immediately. And then on top of that, you don't want people to be able to Instabook in general. Like you want to have you want for them to request to book. And so you have to give them the approval, and then you can pre-approve or change or alter whatever it is. If you're doing an event place, then it's almost guaranteed that every single time you're going to have more than 16 people come. And so you don't want someone to book and then book up that day, and then once they've booked it up, then you say, you do know the pricing, and okay, let's re-alter, then you have to alter the listing and then send over a new pricing, and they say we can't afford it, and you go back and forth until you get to this point where you're like, okay, well you can't afford it, so you need to cancel, and they don't cancel, and then it becomes this whole big mess. And while you're trying to take care of all this stuff, there's other people who are looking at your listing that could have booked that day, but they can't because of all this crap that you got going on with this other person. So it's really important that you have them request a book. Then you say, great, how many people do you have coming to the property? And they say, well, there's only 10 people who are going to be spending the night. Cool, good to know. How many people are coming to the property? Well, overall, there's going to be probably 40 of us, but some are only coming in for 10 minutes or so. Great, so for 40 people, it's going to cost you, so then you do 40 minus 16, and then whatever that happens to be, 32, or I guess, is it 32 or is it 28? 24? Shit, I did not pass math in school. But you do 24 times 25, and then that is
$600.
$600. Good job, Jonathan. And I'm going to just trust that all these numbers are right. And so say for instance $700 a night, or say for instance $600 a night, and then you add that $600 for the extra guests to make it the 40 total people, and then it's $1,200 for one night. Plus they get all the extra fees. You send the request over to them, then they have to accept the new request. Once they accept it, Airbnb checks their bank account to make sure that they have the amount of money to pay for it. Once they get cleared, then it says good to go, then you can accept the booking, and then you're all good. You're just confirmed, and now you know they can pay, and you know they already have all the amounts. There's no complications. And then in the meantime, there's only 3 or 4 people trying to do the same date, and so you're just trying to figure out who's going to do what. And sometimes you want this person to book because they have 30 people, and then this person is the one that ends up booking and they only have 16, and you're like, ooh, which one's going to do it? But you don't want to try to pit them against each other, because then you'll end up with no bookings. So anyways, yes, very important. Turn Instabook off, and make sure that you have the pre-approval to figure out who's going to come to your property, and they have enough money to afford it. I've learned from experience. So before you get done with everything, it sounds like you're almost done, but you're not. One last thing to check out is go to your listing part of it. And then again, in this video, we didn't put descriptions of the pictures. Make sure to add descriptions of the pictures as soon as you upgrade them, let them know about the space. And then whenever you get to title and description, it says add guest access and additional notes. Make sure to put in there how they can get guest access, but don't give them the actual code of the house. And then add additional notes. What you want to put in these additional notes is keep on reiterating over and over again in different times throughout the listing how much it's going to cost for extra guests and then fees and stuff like that. Because then if they say they didn't see it in the house manual, well, it was in the title and description as well, or whatever it happens to be. It also is in the house manual. So before you finish your listing, you also haven't done a house manual. And so make sure to add your Wi-Fi details, and under guest resources, click on add house manual. Just type in additionally all the rules and the consequences and any kind of PDFs you have, if you have like a resource list as well. Things they need to know about the house as far as where the cereal is, how to access the cleaning supplies, or where the air mattresses are, where the air mattress pump is, stuff like that. Those are all really important things that you're going to get asked over and over and over again, and you just say, hey, resource the house manual. Lastly, there's going to be an option on here for a guidebook, and in the guidebook you can put things like, this isn't lastly, I got one more thing after this, but in the guidebook you can put all the cool stuff. So in his neighborhood, he's got this thing called Trinity Groves, which is basically like a strip mall of some of the best restaurant concept ideas in Dallas. And then he can say, make sure to check out this one or this one and this one for that. And there's a brewery by him, and you can check out the brewery. There's a really cool taco spot. Check out this taco spot. There's access to certain things. You can put pictures of the AA Center, American Airlines Center, the Dallas Love Field, airports, whatever it is. Throw as much stuff as you can in the guidebook. That way people can look at that if they're looking for suggestions for live music, accessibility to big places, or everyone cares about food. And so make sure to put all that stuff in your guidebook. And then the last thing I want to mention is a lot of times this gets overlooked for new people, newcomers that are putting their listing up, is only an access that you can do on your phone, and this is the check-in guide. So I don't know why they don't do it on the actual desktop thing, but you need to go on your phone and go into your Airbnb listing. It says add check-in guide, and then you can put on there, it says step 1, do this, step 2, do that, step 3, do that, and you can add pictures to it as well. So that way when someone comes to the property, before they show up, they can see step by step by step what to do, and then at the end of it, that's the last time, and for the third or fourth time, you want to put, keep in mind, anyone that checks in after this date of your booking is going to be $50 per person. Also, if there's any body fluids, it's going to be $200 per person. If there's any cover the camera, and you put that all in there, and they have to use all that to get to the check-in guide to figure out how to get the code for the Wi-Fi, and then how to get the code to get in the house. So if they ever try to complain about, I didn't know, I'll be like, yo, you had that, you had this, you had that, you had the title, description, you had the house manual, you had the check-in guide, you had all this stuff. And this will cover your butt if you're not doing the Instabook. Because if you do Instabook, that's whenever you get to do that message I told you about that lets you, before they book, they have to message saying they understand all the pre-message stuff. And that is only for that Instabook thing, but if you're not doing the Instabook like I recommend, then you have to do all these other creative ways to make sure that they said that they definitely saw it and they definitely know the consequences. All right, well, that is it, everybody. Thank you so much for sitting through this extremely long video, but this is step 1 of step 2. We're going to do a follow-up of this whenever he gets it all up and running. We're going to show his calendar, how it's booked up, and how the pricing strategy worked. Everyone in the comments, make sure to wish Ray some good luck. He's going to need it. And he's starting his listing in the slow season, and so this is a great time to start the listing, but we're still going to make it work. And yeah, do you have any other questions before we go?
No, good to go.
All right, guys. Make sure to follow him at the Ray's Grind, or just Ray's Grind, at Ray's Grind on Instagram if you want to see a lot of Gary Vee style inspirational posts and pictures of cars.
It's my thing, buddy.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends that might be looking to get into Airbnb. And, of course, if you guys can go like my Facebook page, my Instagram, my Twitter, my YouTube, all that stuff. All right. See you guys.
And mine.
Oh, yeah.